New bike day today, and I'm in Massa Marittima in Italy to ride the new Rotwild R.EX. I've been riding the bike all day. I'm gonna get it cleaned up, and then I'm gonna go and talk to the guys at Rotwild. I'm here with Jonathan, who's head of marketing for Rotwild. Am I saying it vaguely close? I don't want to put on a German accent, but...
You can call it Rotwild, but we call it Rotwild.
Rotwild? Okay. Yeah. So, I've already said it's the REX.
Right.
Can we just run through, like, there's a couple of special things on this bike, but can we just sort of do an overview for what this bike is?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the, as you said, the Rotwild REX. It's the smaller brother of the REX Seed. It's our race enduro.
Yeah.
So it's a smaller brother. It's located in the all-mountain area of the bikes. Mm-hmm. It's basically a mullet bike with 160mm in front, 150 in the back. It has a Shimano EP801 motor, and it has a 820 watt-hour battery. Okay,
so you've gone straight to probably the most interesting feature. What interesting to me, I think, and maybe to our viewers, is you have a custom battery, right?
Yes, we always do custom batteries where the motor brand and the communication protocol of the motor allows it. So we go all into integration of the battery. Because once you go into your own batteries, you can define the shape of the frame, you can control stiffness and stuff.
So let's have a look at the shape of the frame, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that is one funky shaped e-bike battery, right?
Yeah.
Like, can you see that? Okay, hold on. You said, look at the size of this thing. You said this is 820 watt hour?
820 watt hours.
That's compact.
It is. It's one of the densest batteries out there.
Okay, when I got the bike, I didn't know how to turn it on.
Oh, I should have told you before. I'm sorry for that.
That's okay.
So you managed.
So the power button is actually on the battery.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you've got quite a big gaping hole in the side of your down tube.
Right.
Did you do anything to reinforce that?
So basically the down tube is a double wall construction. Okay. So behind that wall you can't see all the cables running through here. Oh, so the cables actually run through the double wall, through the cavity, we call it, right? Right, yeah. So the battery is not experiencing any like torque or like stress load. Yeah. Okay. So you could basically run the bike without the battery and it would be the same stiffness. Okay.
And I have to say, like, obviously I've been riding the bike all day. Yeah. There's zero noise or movement from the battery at all.
That's how it should be.
And like, I can't believe how easy it was to put in and take out. And it feels, the thing is, I think because of the profile, it feels snug.
It is snug.
And the thing is with this bike, because the battery's so easy to take in and
you
take
can
out,
always take it out and charge it.
Just charge it, like, and leave your bike. And then also your bike's easier to move around because it doesn't weigh as much.
Absolutely.
Do you know, off the top of your head, what the weight of this battery is? Roughly?
It's somewhere around 3.5 kilograms.
Okay, so really pretty competitive for the power it's got.
So it's a full carbon handmade tube and
hold on, so this isn't, hold on.
It's a one piece.
This isn't stuck on.
No, it's one piece.
Oh wow. I didn't realize that. I was just like,
told you,
now I'm playing with it. I was like, oh, this isn't one of those sticky on covers.
No. That's why we are so happy about the integration here. We don't want to use covers because covers mean extra weight, extra noise.
They don't line up properly. There's a lot of problems with them, right?
So this comes from the same place where we manufacture the frames. Also has the same manufacturing process, handmade, carbon.
Oh wow.
And now it's in.
That's pretty fast, right? Okay, so that's the battery. Everybody knows about EP801.
Right.
So it's 85 Newton meters of torque, 600 watts of power. Probably, I'd say, with the current trends, it's getting left behind a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if Shimano had something coming along to...
You got to ask them.
To bring it up to speed with all of the other bikes, right?
But with the latest software up there...
Yeah, it's better.
It's really good.
It's definitely better.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned the main pivot, right?
Right.
Now I read your bump. We call in English bump is your marketing material.
Oh, I see.
Right?
Yeah,
okay. I read your bump on you call it a mid pivot or a high pivot or
mid-high pivot.
Right. And I'm like, I'm calling BS on it because it's a 4-bar.
Yes.
And we can do the.
It's still a 4-bar, right?
And I actually think it's more like a forward pivot than a mid pivot.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-bar. I also looked at your numbers, and I think your anti-squat and your anti-rise, they're really good numbers for a regular 4-bar, for a 4-bar bike. They're very neutral, right?
Yeah.
And I think your colleague was telling me that the curves are they're pretty consistent.
They're consistent over a wide area.
A wide area, yeah. So the bike has a really predictable characteristic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I noticed that today when I was riding it. And I also noticed that the rear end of the bike is completely symmetrical.
Yes.
So you don't have like an elevated chainstay or one dropped or
well,
one.
we have 2 elevated chainstays.
Oh, you do? Hold on. So what do you call this arm?
We call this arm or this box, we call it elevated box design. So we raised the
not the boomerang.
Not the boomerang, not the banana.
Okay.
So it eliminates chain rattle, so there's no noise there.
The bike,
it's a really stiff design, so we have a really high bridge in between here. The 2 chainstays makes up for a stiff and symmetric ride feel.
So when people tell me it's really stiff, it only puts a shiver down my spine.
I know.
Because sometimes bikes can be too stiff.
Right.
And I've been riding your bike today, and I was kind of thinking it's really greasy up there, it's rocky, it's slippery, you get moved around a lot, and I didn't find that the bike was overly deflected.
Yeah.
So I think you mean it's stiff, but it's not crazy stiff.
No, crazy stiff is always, it's not the right way.
You also said it's a mullet.
Yes, it's a mullet.
And it has, so your enduro bike has adjustable travel and adjustable wheelbase, right? This bike has got 0 adjustment?
Or? It has 0 adjustments.
Okay.
Yeah.
My second concern is that my first concern was you said it was really stiff.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's got a short back end.
Yeah.
What did we say? It was 436?
436 mil.
Even for a mullet, that's pretty short, right?
Right.
And like, I think that your suspension configuration obviously helps with get the rear end pretty tight. I was worried on your bike because like the handlebar is quite low and it's got a short back end. I was worried that the front was going to push.
Yeah.
I'm also running your support pretty firm to get the height at the front that I want.
Yeah.
And it didn't push.
Oh yeah.
Like I could come into flat turns, I could load the front, and it wasn't light. And if anything, when I rode your bike, it was really cool that because it's greasy today, the back end would always brake first.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like a massive safety feature.
Absolutely.
Because if the front goes,
you're pretty much
done.
Right.
Whereas if the back goes, I feel like I'm riding loose and confident and stuff.
Confidence inspired.
So that's I thought that was a really interesting trait. And I also thought was interesting was we set your suspension up earlier today.
Yeah.
With 30% sag.
Right.
In a standing position. I normally set my sag up seated.
Okay.
So that's going to give me, in my position, it's going to give me more than 30%.
Right.
And when I spoke to your colleague, I was really happy with that because I noticed in some of your geometry numbers, you got like 64 head. Your BB height was 340.
Yeah.
I think.
I think too, but I
think,
need to look it up.
Well, if it's wrong,
it's been a long week.
I'm sorry, right? So it's 340. And I was happy because that's going to allow me to kill off some of the BB height.
Right.
It's going to slacken my head. I'm going to sit in the bike.
Yeah.
But what I found on the trail, and people might find this interesting, is that when you have a light bike, you think, oh, it's going to be really light. I found your bike was really dynamic this way.
Yeah.
And kind of like when it got loose and stuff. But I found it hard to pick up.
Oh, I see. Yep.
So it's got a Grip X damper in the fork.
Right.
I know to run that fork wide open on everything. And then all I did was I had no compression on the shock and I kept opening the rebound.
More and more.
Yeah, because the bike never felt bucky. But it allows me to pull through that extra sag.
Yeah, I see.
Because the way I'm setting the bike up to run it soft, there's the disadvantage is you've got to get it off the ground. I have to pull through more travel, right?
Yeah, right.
And I got to a setting where I thought, okay, I could maybe go faster, but then the rebound characteristic might be weird. And then I had the dynamism this way and the dynamism where the bike would go up and down. So
even in these conditions, right?
Even in these conditions, like it's slippery and like it felt really good. And I'd say, I know there's a lot of hype about the Schwalbe tires, like especially the radial casing, and we did go higher in the pressure, but not crazy high because we need the grip here.
Right. But you could go if you like.
But I have to say, man, the sounds that tire makes on the rocks, it scares the hell out of me. It's so pingy. It's like bing, boom, bing, bing, boom.
Yeah.
But
it's all different noise.
But I'd also say that the sound doesn't totally represent the feel. They sound more scary than they feel.
Right.
But I think given that this bike's got like enduro style DNA, it's like a hard hit.
It's still a racer hard.
I bet if you ride this bike, you'd up the tire spec.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Right, okay, we're totally on the same page, right? That's cool.
But then again, I'm a heavy rider, and I have a heavy riding style, so
and I'm not smooth. So I like to smash through stuff.
Yeah.
A couple of other little interesting things in this bike. I think I should get it out of the stand for this one.
Sure.
Because
let me have you.
You drop a post.
Yeah, it's the 8-pin drop a post.
So I also looked at your geometry, and I was like, 460 mil seat tube. That's so out of date. But then you've got this super weird high-tech seat post, right?
Yeah, you gotta know about that. So it's the
come in close because I really want to show you this because like it looks like when you look at the seat post, it looks like a cheap alloy post you'd get on a fixed post.
I see.
But it's not, right? It's this fully integrated, and you've got a straight seat tube. So if you don't want to run an integrated post, you can get rid of it, right?
But you'd have to get a 34.9 mil
dropper post. Okay.
Yeah,
Can you explain to everybody how this works?
So the 8-pin seat post, we've been speccing them for like last 5 or 6 years. With the 8-pin seat post, the frame becomes the housing of the actual dropper post. Yeah. So you don't have a tube in a tube in a tube.
Yeah, the tube is the frame, right?
Yeah, so you have, like your forks, you have a big bushing somewhere in here. So inside, even though this is looking oval, inside the seat tube, it's perfectly round.
So is part of the reason why this has to have the height is that you can get the bushing height that you need for the...
Not necessarily, you can put it a little bit lower, but then again, you said something about the seat tube height, seat tube length. You obviously you need some space to like
you have to
stow away the
drop. Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, totally.
So
so what is the, like, you get this bike, it comes with is it 200, what is it, what's the drop, what's the maximum?
It's depending on your frame size. So you are riding an L, so it has 225 mil of drop.
Oh wow. Yeah. And you can adjust your seat height but still
absolutely without any tools. So you've been riding this all day like this. So if I would hop on it and I have a bit longer legs than you, I would unlock it and then just adjust the seat tube, the seat height to like this.
To what you want.
Lock it again, and now I've adjusted my seat tube.
And it just goes up and down. That's it.
Absolutely.
It's also got, like I noticed, it's got a really mechanical, like noise to it.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like
it's a mechanical lock in here, and I don't know if the camera would pick it up.
Oh wow.
But you can
check that out. Okay.
But if you look inside, you will see the tiny grooves.
The detents. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And this is where the mechanism locks in, and that's the noise you can hear.
With the Fox seat post, a lot of people like the mechanical top out and bottom out, so you know you're at full travel or full extension. I like it's got it too, right?
Yeah, totally.
And you're just running that with a standard Shimano.
Yeah, it's cable actuated, so
simple.
Any remote you like.
Yeah. So this bike is would you call it your lightweight full power? What do you call it?
It's a full power.
It's just a full power.
Every Rotwild is lightweight.
Okay. Did you hear that? Every Rotwild is lightweight. Okay, let's see what it weighs then.
Let's check it out.
22.07.
For size large.
What's your claimed weight?
Claimed weight is
21 something, right?
21 something. Without all the mud.
Okay, without all the mud. There's not that much mud. 820 watt hour battery, 150, 160, MX wheels, and 22.07 kilos.
Right.
That's pretty good, right? Full carbon frame.
Full carbon frame.
Alloy rocker.
Yeah, that's basically the only alloy thing in there. Carbon battery, Shimano EP801.
So when you say carbon battery casing.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Just to be 100% clear. And this thing with we talked about, I mentioned the wide pivot stance and the symmetric rear end. Is that a big thing for do you think with an e-bike, because you've got what, 600 watts of power, 85 newton meters of torque.
Definitely
helps. When I got into the field of the bike, I was coming out of corners cranking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, let's go. And do you think that makes a difference for the torsional kind of twist?
Yeah, absolutely. So you, with your legs and the motor, you're introducing a lot of stress on bearings and your chain stays, seat stays. So giving that extra width or stance helps in not introducing any flex to the axle.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think I can feel it going out of turns compared to other bikes, but that might be just me.
Yeah, I think you work in marketing. You just believe in your own hype, right?
Well, come on, man. You got to do that.
Okay. One final thing. I don't even think you can buy these bikes in the UK, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know. If you know someone,
okay,
let me know.
Okay, I thought maybe you knew someone. Okay, so if someone takes a tunnel to Europe or takes a ferry to Europe,
Right.
how much would the bike cost them?
The bike hanging here is 11,490.
11,490 euros. Okay, and I take it, I'm riding the top spec?
Yes, you're riding your top spec, and there's one spec below that, and it's 8,990.
Okay, so high-end bikes.
High-end
basically,
bikes.
But then high-end components, and
Absolutely.
you're getting a lot of battery capacity at a relatively competitive weight, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Hey, listen, that was amazing.
Thank you, man.
I really enjoyed riding it, and hopefully you can
Glad you liked it.
get some, like a distributor or someone selling in the UK. So maybe we could test one, because this isn't like, I want to make it really clear. This ain't a test.
No.
If anybody leaves in the comments, great review. It isn't a review, right? I had one day on the bike. I spent most of my time filming. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the clips. It's a first ride impression. I came away impressed, but it isn't a review, okay? Thanks a lot for watching.